all tied up, and this first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot. Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We're live from the Weston Golf Club in Weston, Massachusetts, bringing you the 2026 Boston Open APTA Grand Prix with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsor, Corian. Tournament support has also been provided by the following local tournament sponsors. Our platinum sponsor, Pure Hockey. Gold sponsors, Labor, Worcester Air Conditioning, Bully Boy Distillers, Weston Golf Club, and Scott, our silver sponsors. AON, Aureus Asset Management, Miller & Company, Corient, MGS Group, Surfside Vodka Drinks, Win Stanley Enterprises, and our bronze sponsors, Corin and Haviland Insurance Group, Narragansett Beer, and Xenon Paddle. I am Patty Hogan, along with the one and only Hall of Famer Tim McAvoy, bringing you women's semifinal action from Boston with between our number one seeded team, B. Lopez and Taya Page, up against a new combination in our tournament number 3 seeded team of Ellie Halbauer and Anna Zubori. Our umpire for this match is Judy Mitchell. Tim, welcome.
Thank you, Patty. It's a pleasure to be here. And they've got some cold conditions, but a little warmer than it was at 9 o'clock this morning.
Thank God for that, Tim. Right now, it's warmed up to 11. Kind of feels like -5 here in Boston. It is nippy, but Tim, I mean, we're so warm. It's kind of like we're by a fire the whole time we get to watch our favorite sport on the live stream.
It kind of feels that way. It's just not fair, but we'll make do with it.
Yeah, so Tim, this match is a 2-out-3 set, regular scoring. The men in the sport on the APTA Tour do the no-ad scoring. The women play out points in full. Lopez and Page had a great quarterfinal win over Curtis and Mihalovic, 6-4, 6-4 to get to this semi. And Halbauer Zubori had a pretty routine 1-2 win over Boston's finest, Cranon Herschel. On the other side of the women's draw. Oh, Tim, how about you tell us about our players right there a little bit, where they're from?
Exactly. So Elizabeth Halbauer, you might know that she's from Ohio originally, but she got to the finals of the Nationals when they were in Boston a couple years back. And then you have Anna Maria Zubori. Zubori is arguably the best female athlete on the court in the sport, platform tennis. And she comes from Old Westbury, New York. She's pro there at the Golf and Country Club. And Taya, she's at Fox Meadow, the home of our beloved sport, platform tennis.
Yep, and Tim, I'm going to cut you off here because we've had some updates on these graphics, but it's not reflected in what I just asked you to read. So we're going to take down those player profiles because, you know, when you're a young woman on the rise in this sport, you move, you change clubs, you change careers. And that may have occurred with 3 of those players since we've been updated there. So
there you go. Never a dull moment in the sport of platform tennis.
Never a dull moment. So what I was saying, on the other side of the draw, Morgan and Sakura, our tournament number 4 seed, was taken out in that quarterfinals on the bottom half of the draw by Gussie O'Sullivan and Mila Saric. Great 3-set match, 7-5, 6-3, 6-2, or 3-6. Tim, I think you were you on the call on that match?
I did call that match, Patty, yes, with Lauren.
And O'Sullivan, Saric. Tim, did they play great? What was the difference maker in that match? How'd they pull off that upset?
Well, they were the 5th seed, so they're only 1 seed behind.
I call it an upset.
It was I would agree with you. It was a classic platform tennis story where the team that made fewer unforced errors won. So it was more about Saric and O'Sullivan being more steady, fewer unforced errors, and really locking down. That was the difference in the match.
So I mean, I caught a little bit of it, Tim. And you know, I was really impressed with, you know, exactly your point of they just went in lockdown and they just refused to miss, and that put so much pressure on Morgan Sakura because they're playing a team who not only is as good as they are, you know, just with natural gifts that they bring to the table, But they once you get that mindset, and they went into that mental lockdown, I refuse to miss. That's I just think when the pressure goes to the higher seed in these paddle events, we're
And,
we're
and,
uh,
and,
we're
you
gonna
know,
get a
you're,
school. Okay,
go ahead, Patty.
Sorry.
go ahead, Tim.
Which of you is Zubori?
I was just going to say
I'm on
the
the wrong.
more
Oh,
that
okay. You got
Morgan
the red
Secura,
paddle. You got the
they
red
were
paddle. Okay.
focused on working
Sorry,
on
this is
O'Sullivan out of the
everybody's
ad. And when she
bonus.
locked down and refused to miss, they didn't change that strategy, and it allowed O'Sullivan and Sarge to gain confidence by being more steady. And you're right, the pressure shifted back to the higher seed, Sakura Morgan, and tight match, really tight match. But team making fewer errors won the match.
And Tim, who of the 4 players in that in that quarterfinal match, who brought the most offense to the table of those 4 players? Sakura Morgan, Sarich,
Yeah.
or O'Sullivan?
Well, you essentially have 2 defensive players in O'Sullivan and Morgan directionally, and Sakura with her backhand is the offense, and Sarich with her 2-fisted backhand is their offense. So between Sakura and Sarich, I'd say Sakura probably brought more offense to the table, but made more mistakes doing that.
Gotcha.
Have you guys already done your warm-up Sorry, have you done your warm-up serves already? You did.
That's the voice of our umpire,
Okay, sorry.
Judy Mitchell.
Oh, okay. Let me do the.
It can't be fun being up in that chair, Patty, and what
Tim?
-2-degree wind chill did you say?
Yep, Tim. We'll listen into our umpire for a second, please.
Right. To my left. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This semifinal round match is a best of 3 sets with tie breaks. To my right are from Morristown, New Jersey, are Beatriz Lopez, and from Stamford, Connecticut, Tia Page, right? And to my left, I have Ellie Halbauer from Cincinnati, Ohio, and Anna Maria Zubori from Old Westbury, New York. Lopez won the toss and elected to receive.
That's Ellie Halbauer, who will start the match off. To be Lopez.
Love 15.
Tim, this morning with the really cold temperatures, feeling like -15. You know, I kind of you give the nod of the match to some of those offensive-minded players who are amazing ball strikers. And I saw Halbauer and Zubori a little bit earlier. And boy, did they look tough, Tim. Before you and I came on the air, we're like, hey, who do you want to pick in this match? And I said, Tim, you get first pick. So, Tim, you tell me why you think Halbauer and Zubori are going to win this.
My take was the offense that they bring to the table. Now, they're a newer team, have not played a lot together, but in this cold weather with what Zubori can do with the ball, it'll be interesting. They're the underdogs by seed, so it'll be interesting to see if it plays out. There you go.
So you're picking them, Tim? You're picking Halbauer or Zubori?
I am picking Halbauer Zubori. How about you, Patty?
Well, do I get 1 pick or 2, Tim?
Well, you only get 1 pick to pick a winner here.
30.
Okay. I'm going to pick Lopez and Page because they're determined number 1 seeds.
Okay.
But I think this is a pick 'em match. We have a new team of 2 brilliant players teaming up for the first time in APTA tournament play. And each of them is so talented. And, you talk about ball striking. I don't know who the temperature favors. I mean, kind of to be determined here. But I'm going to go with the teamwork and the experience of Paige Lopez in this match.
Duly noted. To your point with the weather, the drop volleys are very effective when it's this cold out if they get a short lob. So I'll be curious if they're looking for that when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, it seems like, Tim, that, the short lob is just the kiss of death, and anything below about 10 degrees brings in the drop shot. You go to defend the drop shot, they can volley it, deep on time.
It tends to end the point either outright or on the next shot.
Yep.
So deuce right off the bat.
So there's Ellie Halbauer, turned pro, played on the Pro Tennis Tour at age 15. When I watched them this morning, I'll tell you, one of the things they are so powerful is on their baseline game, on the return to serves. They put such pressure. I think that's going to be the difference in this match. Lopez Page, they're going to have to volley really well, I think, to be able to defend the offensive firepower that we're going to see from Ellie and Anna.
It will be a classic offense versus defense kind of match.
Game, Halbauer, Zubori. Halbauer, Zubori lead 1-0 in the first set.
Clean hold to start it.
And when you play paddle in really cold temperature, what were some things that you thought about to try to get into the matches?
I would be hitting, when I was at net, we'd hit a lot of side wires, and then the drop volleys, the short balls. A lot of people move left and right, but not up and back as well. So there's a couple of things I'd look at when the weather was really cold like this. Because, like, they would get that ball on a normal chase, but at 2 degrees, there's nothing to chase.
Sure. So that's Page serving. I always think, when you drive, Tim, it's the driving game. You get your percentages go way up, but you've got to aim your drives higher over the net. You hit your normal drive and the ball lands, mid net on your side.
You're exactly right. Sometimes I get accused of going high because you just want to start a foot over the net and bring it down when it's this cold.
Yeah, for sure.
Work your way down.
How about serving, Tim? Who?
Hard and at the nicks.
So I kind of like serving in the cold, Tim, because you can just hit the what out of the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
And it stays in.
It doesn't come back to the service line either, off the back wire. So you almost can't lose serving it hard when it's this cold out.
$40-15.
Aren't a lot of spectators around out there, Patty?
No. So Tim, it becomes like a advantage on the driving team, but I don't know. Sometimes in cold weather, I feel like as the net team, I feel like I have to hold serve, kind of like when I play in the rain, because I feel like you can go for it on your serves, you can pick spots, and if you can be aggressive on it and really get in there and hit get close into the net, because you got to make that first volley, then I feel like you're in absolute control of the court. I just feel like the big question mark will just be the defense of that first volley by both teams.
They're getting good looks off the return to serve. So you're right. The first volley to get into the point is going to be very important. Is Zubori that point before with that forehand? And then goes down the line with the backhand. Very impressive.
So right out of the box, you kind of see some of the tactics from Lopez and Page. Playing some, testing Halbauer out over in that deuce corner. I think there are no questions about what Zubori can do out of the ad corner.
Yeah, and as good as Halbauer is, I think they feel she's a little safer to hit to than Zubori. That very reason.
Well, I think if they can get it into the screens off the deck, oh my Lord, you leave anything short to Ellie, lights out.
Pro tennis players have no problem off the deck. They're just playing tennis out here.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. You can see Halbauer and Zubori right now are kind of set up. We always see Anna Zubori when she plays a forehand, getting herself in that position to the left of the two players here from this vantage point.
Game, Lopez, Page, tied at 1-all in the first set.
And we know, when Zubori and Hanish, they're a great team. The way they play often now is with Zubori handling 99% of the overheads, where I don't know, I'll be curious how this match develops, how they play it, because I feel like she's going to have to let Ellie hit some more balls just to keep Ellie warm, literally, Tim.
Well, Ellie, you're right. It's going to be interesting because Ellie will get 85% of the balls when the other team's at net. When they're back, Ellie's going to see a lot of balls. But at net, when they switch, Zubori's taking all the overheads, like you said. It'd be an interesting dichotomy, up versus back.
Tim Sawyer and the entire Boston community just embraces and just celebrates the sport. And phenomenal job. So much sponsor support. What a great event here that they pull out every year out of the Weston
Love 15.
Club outside of Boston. And you're right, it's so cold. Even these hardy Bostonians can't be out there today. We need some heated bleachers for him, Tim.
Heated bleachers wouldn't be a bad idea, but the support Boston gets in the paddle community is just phenomenal. The sponsorship help to run these events. It's just fantastic. Oh, a little loose on the volley.
Love 30.
She won't miss too many of those.
No. Tim, 5 Grand Prix on the APTA Tour coming up after this. Will be Short Hills as a Grand Prix. Next weekend, the tour will go to Indianapolis, and then it swings back to Jersey for the Short Hills Invitational. Always one of everyone's most amazing events on the tour. Then we go to Midwesterns, the last event before Nationals. So I look for Midwesterns to be the tournament of the year besides Nationals at this point. We've had so many, new pairings. The return of some great players. Doya Burris on the men's side. I expect to see Zubori Hanish at Nationals.
In the first set.
Tim, why don't you give us a read from one of our great sponsors today?
What we'd like to do is thank Labor. Labor brings technology and business together through sound advice, skillful delivery, and selective leadership search. Labor, people powered, technology enabled.
Yes, so the tour, like I was saying, it will wrap up right before Nationals at the Midwesterns out in Cincinnati, and I think that's going to be a phenomenal event. And I love what's gone on in the tour this year. A lot of partners mixing it up a little bit, both on the men's and women's side. And I was saying, the return of Burris or Doya, former, 2-time in the finals twice, winners once in the Nationals. So I love that they're back in here. I love seeing Jade Curtis. I think she's a phenomenal woman player. Jade became a mom 2 years ago. We haven't seen her much. Anytime Jade's in the tournament, the level goes up. I think she was a former semifinalist at Nationals with Vicky Stoklasova. She's the real deal. Just so much talent in the game. Just an exciting time. And the rise of some of these young players on the women's side with Saric, case in point, we've seen her a lot on the live stream. And what a great win for them over Morgan Sikora.
Yeah, over the years, I can't recall seeing more depth in both the men's and women's game than we've got today. Almost all teaching pros, but nonetheless, great depth. So here we are, serving up a break, looking to consolidate.
When you have a new team, they've played a couple matches, obviously, to get into this, but there's nothing like playing in a semi against a team of this caliber. And, I would think, Tim, it would be pretty critical to Halbauer, Zubori to get off to a good start here.
And they're not off to the start they want right yet.
Right. Lopez and Page haven't played together in a while. Page, while Lopez was out of the country getting engaged, congrats to Alvy and B. Lopez on their engagement. Page played a couple tournaments with Sarge. They won one. They had great success. And, Page had a shoulder injury that doesn't seem to be impacting her play at all. So, when you look at the wins on the women's tour this year, Lopez Page won the first event. Halbauer played with Morgan, they won. Then Lopez Page won the second event on their second win at Baltimore. You just see all these great names, talented players. And Tim, I really think for the first year going into women's nationals, I might have, 5 teams that I think have a legitimate chance to win this.
It is a little different than the last couple of years where it was a smaller number. So it makes it more fun. It's definitely more interesting. Any team feels like if they get hot at the right time, they could knock off one of the higher seeds. So here we are.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Tim, when I was watching Morgan and Sikora in their loss in the quarters, like they're still improving as a
40
team,
all.
but so is everybody else in the sport. And that's the thing about pushing yourselves, adding new skills all the time, because you can never, you get your footing at a certain level in this sport, and then you've got to bring new dimensions to your games.
out.
Otherwise, you get, an up and comer who has no fear factor. They get out on the court and they're like, "Oh, I've seen this person hit this shot," and they just start hitting these shots that are ungodly shots that they are capable of because of high level of racket skills. And then all of a sudden, this is where you have these tossed up situations way more on the women's side of the tour. Always, often the case on the men's side, so much depth. But I'm loving that the women's game is really building incredible depth here. You look at Prendergast Zink going out in the 16s, many-time national champs, Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But you get out there and they won their first match, 3 sets. And this is the tough thing when you're on the north side of your career. You get off the court and it's -5 wind chill and you have to come back a half hour later. It's really a challenge.
Hard to get it moving. Very impressed with Halbauer's forehand off the deck.
I saw it out.
She missed that one, but her return to
40
serve
all.
has been deadly.
Yeah, so that's B. Lopez serving. And for Halbauer, she got a good look. I think Lopez and Page, I feel like they've got to be really thoughtful about their overhead placement. And I think that's the key for them, because I think they can react to most things. They have such speed, such quickness, such racket skills, and an engagement ring. So, it stacks up well for them, in that situation. And I think they just, it's like anything, Tim, when you move the play too much around, it does open up the court against great players. And that's where Halbauer, Zubori, I think, will be amazing. I think if the overheads from Page and Lopez kind of are boring in a sense, not opening up the court so they don't have to shift a lot, I think they can handle them, because I know they can defend the drives. Does that make sense, Tim? That was kind of a convoluted answer.
Nope, it does make sense. Basically, can't give Halbauer that forehand off the deck that she's had a couple looks at already. You got to get it to the wires. And kind of like your comment with cold weather in the serve, you can overhit the overhead and not pay as much of a price.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tim.
So far, they've had trouble. Page and Lopez have had trouble getting past the Halbauer return of serve.
Yeah.
40 all.
They're fighting to keep it even here, and then Halbauer just rips it. They went Australian the last time.
Yeah, I might stay back. Like, I would consider, if they can't serve around her, just maybe stay back, just show different looks, because I don't think Lopez can go big enough to impact Ellie in this temperature.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, they have to change it up. And you're right, you could put one at the net and have her just slide off the court so that you're, if you want to hold the net, or you can stay back. But they haven't figured it out yet.
Game,
Up.
Halbauer and Zubori tied at 2 games
the big
all
roller.
in the first set.
Ejected there for Lopez and Page, because that was a big game to hold for them. To go up 3-1 would have put Halbauer and Zubori in a tough spot early.
Yeah. Lopez went big on that return of serve from
15 love.
a big serve from Ellie Halbauer. And we talked about how, these players just keep getting better and better, and they have to add new skills. Look at the Halbauer serve compared to 2 years ago. She gets the finals of nationals with Nicolescu. They went out at the up in Brookline, but you look, she just worked so hard. She has a beautiful, the tempo on that service motion. She gets some more spin on it. I think she adjusts her grip slightly from prior seasons, and that's what I encourage all players to do. Work on it. Get out there. You can improve any aspect of your game, especially your serve, because you don't need anybody to practice with. Good shot of Anna Zubori.
Yeah, they had a question on the side call there. I'm not sure if the umpire actually upheld the call.
You saw right away Zubori drifted way back off one position. And Ellie knew Zubori wants to be in charge, hitting all the overheads and effortless switch, kind of like what you would see with a lefty-righty team. Great camera shot of Taya Page out of that ad court.
Yeah, that was a nice look at that backhand. She stayed nice and low.
And I love her prep on it. As soon as the ball was headed to the left side of her body, her paddle just was on the backhand. And that's how players can kind of go really fast, but kind of be super calm at the last second. The fast footwork and set that paddle early.
And you could see it off of that angle we had. You're so right. When the racket's back before the ball hits the ground, practically, it gives you that time to come out with the ball and gives you more options as opposed to taking the racket back later in the execution of the shot.
Tim, I always think that early prep creates a little bit of deception for your opponent. It's much easier to read what your opponent's going to do if it's one continuous swing. I often feel like with some of the baseline play, when you see that paddle set early, you can kind of mess with the other team a little bit if you pick up on some movement, away from the net or close to the net, or maybe they didn't shift, whatever. You give your time to see some openings.
Mm-hmm. Definitely create more time, and that's one of the secrets.
Again, you just see that paddle face set on the backhand, a little bit open, so that ball goes up. High lobs, Tim. They got to launch some if they can.
Yeah.
They're not playing pure defense, and they get a little bit of an easier screen. That's when I would look for them to really launch a lob, try for some height.
Yeah, and it's such a testament to the Zubori overhead. It's just such a tough overhead. So, ladies and gentlemen,
go ahead, Tims.
Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2025-2026 season. Corient is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com, CORIENT.com. Thank you, Corient.
All right, Taya Page serving. Down 2-3 with her partner, B. Lopez, with Ellie Halbauer.
Oh,
and on the Zubori.
15 love.
Zubori leaping up to try to get that overhead off the deck. Couldn't quite reach it.
Love.
Zubori is, as we mentioned, two-time national champ with Flora Hanisch. They won in 21 over Liz Cruz and Gabby Nicolescu. And they defended their title in 22 over Roxanika and Gabby Nicolescu.
I like the offense Halbauer brings off that deck. Gotta like it.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, you do. Nice get off that one. Between the legs. Why not? You know why she did that, Patty?
Because she could.
That's exactly right. There aren't many people that would even think about that shot, much less hit it.
Yeah, she's known for the tweener.
Yeah,
at any
she
opportunity. You know she's feeling happy if we get a tweener in here in the early going like this.
Yeah, there's good confidence coming out of Zubori here.
A lot of confidence.
Yeah.
You can see when Zubori Hanisch were playing, like I said, Zubori went in monster overload, taking all the overheads. even having Hannah stay back on the baseline behind her, waiting it out, one up, one back. Where you can see with Halbauer, they're playing next to each other in this match. A little different, a little more traditional paddle positioning.
30-15.
That's all because Halbauer can bring a little more offense off the forehand side.
30-15.
Good shot of Taya Page. Great job by Como and everybody behind the scenes, Mark Innes and crew, Jake Lane. They do a wonderful job bringing these great productions to us from Boston this weekend.
Serving to even the match here at 40-15.
See, that's just the pressure on the return of serve that I saw this morning in a little bit of their play. And that's what I said. I thought, Lopez and Page, they've seen it.
Tied at 3 games all in the first set.
They've seen the pressure, Tim, and they are so well equipped to handle it, where very few teams on the women's tour, I think, can defend it. But they're among the 2 who can.
It separates you from other teams for sure.
So 3-all, Tim, we kind of we knew this would be neck and neck, and I you just kind of love the level of play right out of the box. I mean, even though it's wind chill -5, these 4 women they're looking comfortable. They're it's a pretty high level match here that we're getting to watch.
Right off the bat from the first game.
Yeah.
Shot making's been very impressive. Very impressive.
And Tim, I only offer that because so many times, players all around the country have to work themselves into these matches where these women know it's so critical to come out, have a warm-up that actually warms up all your shots that you're going to need in your match. Then you get on the court, hit back and forth for a few minutes and go. And that's how they can get their level immediately, to like about 90% of their capabilities from the first point on.
Yep, even when it's really cold, you can't afford 3 games to quote unquote get into the match, or you could be down 3-love against a good team.
Yeah, you can't afford those early breaks. We had an early break, but it was the match. So I think each team has a break on their side here.
Yep.
You can see, when Zubori and Halbauer bring these overheads hard. You see Lopez and Page, they're great athletes. You mentioned that Anna Zubori might be the best athlete in your eyes from Philadelphia. Or I was thinking, she is phenomenal. But I would say the sport is at a time where I've got a whole handful of women who
athletes. Yeah.
I just think can match that athletic. I mean, her racket skills, Anna's got some truly unique shots, but these up and comers, Paige and Lopez in particular, it's almost there's nothing they can't do either. So it's so fun to watch.
And that's what delivers a high level of paddle. And you're right, it's a lot of fun to watch. Here we are, 3-all serving for the game to go up 4-3. Nice big serve from Zubori. Look at that. Looking for that forehand to bring. Zubori taking the middle there to help on the volley.
And I love that play, and that's because her instincts, her anticipation of what's going to happen next to him, she moves up on top of the net if she knows the ball's coming low. If she knows the ball's going to be up high, she drops back automatically. They're constantly moving their feet, adjusting their position.
40-15.
Zubori moves so well off the net that even when she's in tight, anticipating the drive, she can get most of the lobs that will come up if they choose to lob and not drive. So,
yes, I think that's a great
athletic
point. Her ability to back up.
Yeah.
And she's
Not
got the
everyone
grip
does
changes.
it as well. Yep.
Yeah, yep. But she's got the grip changes, so she can back up and be off balance.
Yes.
And then just move a grip and come up with what's the easiest shot with that grip.
And it'll probably have a little slice when she hits it. Patty.
Yeah. Great rip.
Game.
Yep.
Halbauer and Zubori. Halbauer and Zubori lead 4-3 in the first set.
It's nice when you have a match that provides the battle that you were hoping for and anticipating.
Oh yeah. There's when the draw came out, Tim, and I saw that Halbauer,
Okay. I have one in my
Zubori
pocket,
were
so I've got one to go, one
potentially,
in my
if the seeds held, up for the semifinal.
Yeah.
The next one
I
I'll have
said
to
I
go from
think
the
we
hut,
need
that's all
Tim
I have.
McAvoy on the call for that match because it's going to be great.
I can tell you, Tim McAvoy thoroughly enjoys commentating and being the backup to that Hall of Famer, Patty Hogan. So thank you, Patty.
Tim, we're always a team.
Yes,
All
we
right,
are.
so here, so Paige Lopez, maybe a tiny bit of frustration right there, little unhappiness. I've seen them smile more, Tim. B. Lopez serving here down 3-4, looking to even things up. I expect a monster return to serve,
Seven
followed in by
games.
pressure from Zubori out of that ad court. And that's what we get.
Exactly. Seven games, you get a new ball. And so that new ball is going to be a
Hold on
little
second,
warmer
please. I'm in a screen
than the cold
that's
ones.
Not good
Ha.
with ball check.
Maybe not in Boston today, Tim.
Well, that first return to serve was off a slightly warmer ball. That's all I'll say. He did clock it. And now they've got the net, which is good offensive position for Zubori.
And, I said Lopez and Page, have the ability to defend that onslaught on the return of serve that you see from Halbauer and the movement up from Zubori.
30.
But they're going to have to serve a little better here, move it around a little bit, and adjust their position. I think they say traditional setup. I think that feeds right into what
40.
Ellie Halbauer and Anna Zubori want to do. At the very least, I would go Australian because then it takes away the move from Zubori out of that ad court to finish off that volley if it gets popped up.
Yeah, and they have not figured it out yet. And then she faults because she's trying to do too much with it on that serve before. So now it's love. I believe it's love 40. It says love 30. Maybe it's only love 30. Looking for the tweener, huh, Patty?
She's looking for the wrong shot right there. She has 2 tweeners so far in our tweener count, if we care. I care deeply about how many tweeners she hits. No, but like right there, Anna just pulled. Unnecessary.
Did not need to do that.
You know what? Yeah, she was beaten on the shot. Nothing she could do, so she just hit a flyer. And that's what makes Anna.
Yes.
She hits flyers, and she makes them.
Makes enough of them, that's for sure.
30-40.
Tim, right there, that you saw Halbauer on top of the net, and just the amount of the mile per hour on that drive from Page out of that ad court forced that volley error. And I've seen Page just break down some of the best woman volleyers in our game with the pace that she can generate.
40-all.
2 missed forehands by each player there with Halbauer and Zubori to bring it back to deuce.
Again, we're going to see a rip, and we're going to see Zubori move in and looking for the pop-up.
There it is.
Yeah,
Stays
and there's
back.
Lopez.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the adjustment there, Tim.
Yes. Yes. I think Halbauer will go at the net person one of these times on that return to serve. And the lobs have been deep enough that they haven't been able to hit any drop shots off of a very short lob.
Yeah, I mean, Page and Lopez, they're a great defensive team.
Oh, missed it deep.
And Ellie, kind of got locked in on that point, and I'm going to hit every ball 50 miles an hour, but that ball got a little bit low on her, like almost on her too fast. She didn't quite have the setup time, and looks like that's what caused the error.
Yeah, like she almost committed to the shot before it was the right ball to hit.
All right, Lopez serving on a Zubori to hit the return.
Right, to stay at 4-all. Big forehand, great volley.
So that's Pejic to the right of our screen in all black today. That's B. Lopez, the white pants, the red sneakers. Anna Zubori, the light top on the far side ad court. And Ellie Halbauer in the deuce court with the black vest on, white hat.
Did you say those trademark red sneakers? Ah, good ball. Good ball. Add out.
Add out.
I wouldn't mind seeing Halbauer blitz on this one. Zubori's really been bringing it. She gets a good look and gets it below the net.
Mm-hmm. Why not? I mean, she's got the wingspan of 747. She can hit anything. It just would apply so much visual pressure to
Yes.
the serve.
Didn't come in.
Yeah. Okay.
Would be a good play though, especially on a break point like that. Oh, look at Halbauer. She wanted that ball.
Right. She's Zubori right there.
Yeah.
Took the ball. We're used to Zubori doing that.
Anna Maria is not used to someone on the forehand side coming over like that.
All right, if you guys are anywhere in the Boston area, go to the Weston Club. You can see there's plenty of seating outside available today. And a lot of cocktails inside. So, decisions.
Advantage, Lopez and Page.
Bring your hand warmers with you. All right, here we go.
Right.
Advantage. Even
Beautiful
the matchup
volley.
is right there.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. I was admiring the volley technique of Lopez. Just set her paddle, set her hands, waited for the ball. Perfect timing.
We go.
Okay,
This is
Lopez
the
and
dog
Page
fight.
Tied at 4 games all in the first set.
Let's go tiebreaker, Tim.
Neither team is backing down an inch when the return to serves, the power off the forehands. Very impressive from all 4 players.
And I think Zubori and Halbauer, working out. Okay, we've got one play. We crushed the return, and I blitz. That's what Anna's saying. Now we've got to come up with a couple other things as well.
Yeah. Plan
they're
B.
looking for
Plan B.
Yeah, they're looking for sequence of shots that they can hit to try to break down Page and Lopez, and that's what as we get deeper in this match, I think we'll see some patterns emerge. There's the first one. Zubori just always in that left position at the net. Ellie just moved over right away.
It was interesting, Patty, because as they switched, the other team, the offense, and yet Zubori and Halbauer acted beautifully with their hands. Net cord fault.
Tim, does it seem like Halbauer and Zubori are holding serve easier than Lopez and Page?
There is no doubt they are. Now, of course, that'll be the kiss of death, and they'll get broken here. But
announcer's curse.
But yes, Lopez and Page are competing really well.
And Tim, that's a great point because there's no weaknesses out here with any of these women. But to your point, it's about who competes better. It's a grind. You just don't know when good fortune's coming your way. So until then, you've got to just wait this out and just keep applying pressure. All 4 women doing a wonderful job with that.
Having trouble getting a deep lob on this particular point. Yeah. Making it tough. Oh, I anticipated it, but overran it.
40-30.
But I like the move. I like
Big
the
time.
move.
And it makes you think about the next time you're going to hit that shot. You might lose the point, but you definitely get inside someone's thinking.
Yep, for sure. And the down up that type of shot works in certain situations against some other players. Stay away from it.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, 2 misses, I think.
Game
Yeah.
Halbauer and Zubori. Halbauer and Zubori lead 5-4 in the first set.
This is going to be a tough game to hold right here, Patty, I predict.
Okay.
It's got the feel, the way the way Halbauer's bringing that return to serve. If Zubori starts blitzing on that, a lot of pressure at 4-5 to start, and then volleying off your ankles is going to make it even tougher.
Hey, Tim, there's so many great women, but there's so many great men in Boston. Our semifinals are set for this afternoon. Regalado Salazar won their quarterfinal over Burris and Erdoya, 1-4. They'll come up against Grigorovich and Ostojic, who won over Ong and Thaler. Nunez Powers have a rematch. Morgan and McNerney, last year's national final. Things are heating up in Boston on this brutally cold day.
Those are some good matchups. Nice to see the turnout of all the best players,
love.
almost all the best players coming out.
Oh, yeah, the
Boston.
return of Durant Mitchell separated. We got to watch Stephen Mitchell 2 matches yesterday with, playing. I don't know if you caught any of that action. Griffin Kramer, young player, senior in college, I believe, former junior Nat Stamp, got to play with the one and only Stephen Mitchell. So we got to see a lot of that action yesterday.
But if that was a junior national, then you definitely know about him.
15-all.
Well, everybody knows about Griffin Kramer. He's an influencer, Tim. Do you know what that is?
I think I might have heard of the term.
Can your grandkids explain it to you?
They have. Just missed it, 5:30.
It was out, yeah.
Yep. All right.
15-30.
Here we go. Zubori chipped this last one. I'll be curious if she plays it more safe as well. Oh, yeah, Corey.
Yeah, Zubori has such a wonderful forehand, but this season I haven't seen her go for as much, and she just never misses into that little chip type of shot.
30-all.
A little bit more, it seems.
Yeah.
All right, big time moment right here, Tim.
Yeah, yep. They know it's coming.
Yep, Paige taking a little time there.
Yeah. Blitz in. See, that would have been a great drop volley.
Oh, but I mean, look at this point. The shots for Lopez and Page right there, huge point.
Look, and the backhand.
Oh my God.
This is impressive. To put it mildly. Oh, missed it wide.
Oh,
Really
killer
cool.
error.
Really
Yeah.
cool. You could see her move over to the right and forced her overhead wide by moving to the right there. Here we go. I think we've got a set point right here.
We do. Page serving, 30-40.
There's that chip beforehand.
Yep, there it is again from Zubori. Put the ball in play low. Take her chances from there.
Never seen a two-handed backhand I didn't like. If you're Halbauer. A little tight with that forehand. I'm surprised with the ongoing chips.
And that it hurt her right there because she had a ball of life right there that she could have tagged.
Oh, yeah, she could have covered it. Deuce. Great return.
Yep. Looks like we're playing a replay over and over on the return of serves.
It really does. Nobody's changed strategies yet. Good depth on the overheads.
you know, we mentioned how good Zubori is backing up and coming back in, and you saw Ellie in that right position. She does a pretty good job herself of that. Oh, what a beautiful spot that Paige just picked her pocket on that shot.
Yeah, she bangs it looking for it, but doesn't expect her to pick that right on the old right hip.
The right hip, paddle 101 on the short ball. Crush
All
it.
right. Good, really good movement from Zubori. Closed the side, took it off the deck, put it right at the net person.
Right, and Lopez missed that volley. Just a little bit too much movement. I think if she had kind of had stayed in her position versus kind of sliding to the middle as she was hitting a forehand volley there, made her a little suspect.
Phenomenal racket work there.
Add in.
See, I think this is smart play. We're getting a little bit, you know, they're getting some gifts from Zubori, a tiny bit here at this stage. And she's not played much competitive paddle this year overall for a variety of reasons, travel, paddle, other things. And, you know, Ellie's been in here, so, like, you're not seeing anything from Halbauer. She is gifting nothing.
Oh, just missed it wide. But you're right. It's under the most extreme pressure that if you're a little rusty, it will show. And Zubori has missed 2 or 3 balls this game.
Again, they're still traditional setup. I think that they're not doing
Halbauer.
themselves any favors at all by doing this.
Halbauer is like a one-person wrecking crew out there.
Yeah, but Paige and Lopez haven't made an adjustment. It's over and over and over and over. You've got to make a change.
Not sure why they haven't, but
you know, it's hard to think of everything, Tim. It's easy when you're sitting back here, you know, in a lounge chair, fire, hot chocolate.
And that's why you are a national champion and a Hall of Famer, because it's hard to figure those things out. All right, back to deuce. I'm telling you, this match it's a dogfight. Oh, I'm sorry. It's that point right here.
Yeah. I'd keep it on Zubori. I wouldn't let Halbauer play right now. Halbauer.
I agree with you completely. Right there. You just hit the nail on the head. They gave her a backhand and it cost her the set.
Hey, Tim, we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming by Joho and Streambox Labs and match statistics provided by Court Director.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Hey, this is Guillermo Núñez, and this is the tip of the week. In the push overhead, I like to create some offense by sometimes, depending on who I'm playing against, I hit the ball down into the service box, letting them bite a little bit, understanding that they could drive, and I'm gonna close the net as they're driving, knowing where the opening is, depending if I wanna speed the game up. When I decide to hit the ball down into the service box, I'm baiting my opponent to drive the ball. So I'm planning that. If I don't want that to happen, then I'm gonna reset straight deeper into the middle and nothing happens. I'm Guillermo Nunez. I hope you enjoy the tip and see you on the court.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour. I'm Patty Hogan with Hall of Famer Tim McAvoy at the Weston Golf Club outside of Boston with women's semifinal action. Our tournament number 1 seeded team of B. Lopez, Page, and Taya Page just lost in an amazing first set, 6-4 to our tournament number 3 seeded team and new team of Ellie Halbauer and Anna Zubori. Tim, what do you think about that first set? Do we see any stats from that first set maybe? Maybe they'll appear magically for us.
Yep. There are your stats. Well, there aren't many stats there.
Oh, well, that is compelling. Oh, there we go, Tim.
There we go. With the stat that's most compelling isn't on that sheet, and that's the offense that Halbauer has delivered, forehand and backhand, return to serve, and in the point. That was the difference in that really tightly contested first set.
Yeah, you know, we said it. We just think Lopez and Page, they've got to show Halbauer and Zubori a different look. Otherwise, you know, like I said, you just got into that match and it was just easier for Zubori and Halbauer to hold serve than it was for Page and Lopez by far. That was, you know, when we came on, Tim, we said there's a couple things, you know, we're going to look for that play all the time on the return, like kind of very much like Lalich and Elliott when they play. They apply that similar pressure as you see from Halbauer and Zubori in this match. And, you know, the pressure they constantly apply is putting a lot of pressure on Lopez Page. I mean, this thing is so freaking close, Tim. It's just a matter of points. We had 1 or 2 loose errors from Page Lopez, but I do think they're going to have to make an adjustment to come back and forge 3 sets here. I think that Ellie, you can see Ellie and Anna. These are 2 girls who love to have fun, and they're having fun together out there. And when you're fun, you're loose, you're enjoying it. You know, it makes it feel like it's 30 degrees out there today, not -5 wind chill.
And you always play a little better when you're a little loose and confident. Always.
all.
Yeah.
See, I like that play going right at Halbauer because you can see right there her tendency. She kind of sets with her paddle kind of low, and I do think she gives you a little bit of room there. If you can unload that drive like Paige just did, you can kind of get Ellie a little bit. You saw it again there. You know, you see a lot of volleyers and their paddle heads are above their wrist, Tim, when they're hitting a backhand volley when they're close, where Ellie's is more kind of, I call it east and west. Her paddle's kind of even and it goes high and low. And I do think she's got a little bit of a vulnerable volley spot if you can find it. But most people can't.
But this team, Lopez and Page, clearly can find it. Sometimes it's just that small margin, all that it takes. Great hands.
Love the Zubori overhead. You can see the grip changes. It gives her different kinds of spins on consecutive shots. Instead of sticking with the same spin, she'll mix it up a little bit. And that's how she gets away with moving the ball back and forth. And both overheads just stay down low.
And one of the secrets with all that spinning, her footwork is phenomenal. And it takes a lot of footwork to be able to make those kinds of adjustments.
30-40.
So here we go. Break point to start the first game of the second set.
Yeah, you can see Lopez and Page. They've got some energy over there right now. They're like, okay, that first set is done. Let's go. We got to bring it. And they can. Yes. And they can come back.
40-all.
And even in this first game, you're seeing that more offense coming from Page and Lopez already.
Yep, but a short lob there, they got killed on it. So they're really going to have to, you know, they were lobbing really well, I thought, earlier in the first set. And they've got to keep their head, you know, they've got to keep their mind on that as well. So it's bringing it, but, you know, the lob opens up your drives.
Yes.
Tim, shout out to Glens Falls Country Club and player out of Saratoga. Skip and Melissa Perry are enjoying listening
Add
to
in.
the smooth sounds of Tim McAvoy.
They're too kind. And just that quickly back to add in, and there's a
40-all.
fault. Ah. Yeah, there's good energy with Lopez and Page right now after that tough first set.
And you saw, Halbauer thought she was hitting that overhead earlier, and you heard the paddles hit.
Yeah.
Zubori was like, I'm taking it no matter what. I don't care if you swing. I want the ball.
And then she took 3 steps to the net and stuffed the next volley.
And how come? Because she can. Most people can't.
Up there's the nick. It's the little things that make a
Add
difference
in.
in a match at this level, and you're helping your partner out in the corner like that. Got to do it. Got to be there for him. 2 faults,
40-all.
both on game points. Oh, Patty, she makes it look awfully easy.
Yeah. Little pick up on that half volley. Nothing
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. Telling you. And it's 2 degrees out there. It's
Right.
not easy.
Wow.
Double. Nice overhead.
You saw that setup
in.
coming. Zubori had 2 overheads, Tim, before that. She kind of just hit this like lazy little slash up the middle. I knew, I had a feeling she was looking for that cutter coming soon.
And to your point, the short lob will kill you at this level. Yep, the cold weather makes that a
Game
very
Halbauer and
difficult
Zubori.
ball to dig
Halbauer
out.
and Zubori lead 1-0 in the second set.
Halbauer and
if
Zubori
won the first set 6-4.
If I'm Lopez and Page right now, another thing I'm thinking about is, obviously Zubori's hitting 84% of the overheads. Ellie has a great reach and goes back and brings that really heavy overhead. And Lopez is doing a great job of defending it because Ellie just, hits it cross court 75 miles an hour. And B. Lopez defends that shot. I would try to get Halbauer hitting some more overheads here. I would be a little bit more targeted with where I lob if I'm not purely on defense for Page and Lopez. Sometimes you're just holding on for dear life and hoping to get a ball back over the net anywhere versus being able to target it to a spot where maybe you might get a little bit of a vulnerable spot. Uh-oh. And you could just see Page and Lopez, again, they're amazing in their defense, but they had to hold their ground earlier. You had Ellie about to hit a shot from below the level of the net. Close in if you're the net team. Just form your wall of backhands and stuff her. Because I think you got to send a message. Nope, not in my hood. Sometimes I
It's
just go.
important to do
I used to
that.
just
Yep.
go forward, Tim, to just go, just to make them
Make
think
the
I was a little
statement.
bit more of a threat than I was.
You make the statement. Once again, it's another fight
60-40.
to serve. Double break point to start the second.
Gigantic point. A couple of breaks in that first set, and this is huge.
And this is the exact point that they're having trouble with. Halbauer return to serve.
And they've made no adjustment position-wise that we can see. Lopez is trying to cut the ball off.
She missed that overhead wide, I believe.
Game Halbauer and
Yeah.
Zubori.
Just-
Halbauer and Zubori lead
Yeah.
2-0 in the second set.
And
Yeah, so
Patty, you touched on
big.
it. They just put a lot. Halbauer, Zubori, they're just putting a lot of pressure on Lopez and Page. Just every game, there's a lot of pressure, whether they win the game or not, and it wears on you over time. It just wears
For
on
sure.
you.
Tim, do you know there was a celebrity sighting in Boston yesterday?
Did you go to Boston, Patty?
David Chelson,
Oh my goodness, Hall of Famer David Jeltsin.
Hall of Famer David Chelson was in the crowd. I think he was in a tent for sure. But shout out to David. We're so glad he felt well enough, or somehow Deb let him go out yesterday, and I'm glad he got to the tournament and enjoyed the action. I got a great picture of David with Amin Kaduri, our CEO of the APTA, yesterday.
That is a gift. David Jeltsin has given as much to this sport of platform tennis as anyone that I know of. There are a lot of people that have given a lot, but David's right there, and a wonderful human being on top of it. Big shout out to David.
And Tim, he's a Hall of Famer. He gave back. He's owned some companies, but it's his generosity of spirit and opening of his wallet that I have to say really so helped my career in terms of the number of tournaments that I've been able to host for the APTA over the years with all my buddies in New Jersey, all the pros, the Brodericks, Greg Morgan, et cetera, everybody over the years, because we always knew we had the support from David Chelson.
Yeah.
And it was the little things, Tim. It was, you're on a Thursday night and the tournament starts Friday morning and the favors aren't there. Can you do something? Can you figure this out for me? And, you know, the last minute hiccups that happen always were smoothed out when I worked with David Chelson, and continue to be on a, you know, and their support of junior nationals coming up the last Saturday in February, and team nationals the last weekend in March in Jersey, and then the first weekend in April out in Chicagoland. So thanks to David for all of his support every step of the way throughout his 40 years of involvement in our sport.
Yeah. Nice overhead. One little David Jeltsin story. You may know, Patty, I always used Wilson rackets, and David, of course, was Mr. Viking. He sent me a card one day. I didn't know it was going to be coming in the mail. I opened it up, and there's $1 million bill in it. They said, for $1 million, would you move to Viking? And it was $1 million bill that he had somehow created.
What a riot.
The little things, as you just said. He was a special guy.
All right, so Halbauer, Zubori, our pickup team, tournament number 3 seed team. You can see why these are among the best women in our sport. You know, they're up against tournament number 1 seed of Lopez Page. Lopez Page, like we mentioned earlier, haven't played in a bit. They had a little break as a team for a variety of reasons, travel, engagements, all great things. So now they're back in the action here. But it's just, it seems like Zubori and Halbauer, you know, it seems like it's their match to lose, Tim.
This game is critical for Lopez and Page. I think we're at 30 all.
Yep, Ellie Halbauer serving, and that's B. Lopez hitting the
There you go. Great point.
catching the ball. Yeah, so the scoreboard is a little off here. I think she said 30-40.
Yes, it's add out.
That's our umpire, Judy Mitchell. Talk about people who do an amazing job. How about sitting up in the chair on a day like today? Kudos to all the APTA umpires for everything they do to make the tour possible.
Really good offense from Lopez Page on a game they had to have. So kudos to them. They competed very well.
6-4.
You know, and I like the pressure, you know, on consecutive shots from Lopez. Tim, she pulled kind of a Halbauer right there where, you know, she has a beautiful return to serve, and I would like her to pressure more on that second shot. Sometimes, you know, I feel like she falls back into a little bit of a tendency to throw up a lob almost automatically at times. But I think on a day like today where they've got to figure out ways to win points off these guys and break them down, I think it's with some, you know, using her monster drive, you know, on that second ball potentially, because I think you've got to test a little bit of the middle and the positioning between Zubori and Halbauer, and they really haven't done that in this match.
And Patty, to pick up on that point, you have to be thinking about that before the shot starts, before the point starts. You've got to be thinking, if I hit this good first drive and it comes short, I'm going to drive the second ball.
Love 30.
By the way, nice to see Zubori drive a forehand coming over the top. Good to see that shot back because the chip was not the answer.
Jim, in the other women's semifinals, our tournament number 2 seeded team of Macy Elliott and Lisa Lalich won the first set 6-3 over Gussie O'Sullivan and Mila Sarge. Elliott and Lalich look to be up in the second set. I think they're deuced 3-1.
Great volley. There's the drop shot. Get him moving. So smart. Brought her to the side wire, brought her to the middle, bringing her back to the side wire. Anna Zubori, like on a string, is moving her around. I think we're looking at triple break point here.
You saw Zubori show the forehand drive.
There it is.
Gave
There it
her
is.
legs. You saw the big windup.
Halbauer and Zubori lead 3-1 in the second set.
Patty, it's really interesting to see Zubori change and adjust from the chip forehand to that topspin forehand. It made a difference
All right,
in
do you want a new,
breaking.
Do you want a new ball?
Yeah, it was a weak serve coming in. And it was landing short, and you could just see Zubori went down. She's like, forget the chip. I got a ball of life sitting here. I'm going after it.
And the return of serve, covering it with that forehand as well.
Right. So I actually love Zubori's mentality about her return of serve game today. It's a little bit not as risky, like I would say. She's solving for never missing. And then when she sees an opportunity because of a weaker serve, ball that lands shorter in the box, she can then go boom, lights out, and tag it.
And mentally, she's looking to do that. Not sure what the reason for the new ball. Oh, 7 games again. Okay, 14, yeah.
All right. Anna Zubori serving up 3-1 in the second set, having won the first set with L.A. Halbauer, 6-3 over our tournament number 1 seed team, B. Lopez and Taya Page. It's Taya over there in that ad court, ripping that two-handed backhand. Love it.
The Patty, I'd like to see her go down the line on that backhand next time.
15 love.
So far, she's been bringing it across court, and Zubori's stepped over to hit it. Would love to
I
see
think they
Paige
got, yeah, Tim, I'm with you. They need fundamental. They need to go back to some good lobbing because everything's coming short, and all of a sudden, this is going. You can feel the momentum big time going the other way. Yeah.
Big time, yeah.
And Lopez and Page, they don't seem so bouncy. You don't feel the belief in them right now, like we did when they started the second set. Totally positive.
Yeah.
They knew, they only had a couple of loose points. They were struggling to hold serve, and that was the adjustment they had to make, position-wise possibly, or something. We just haven't seen it, so we have a little bit of separation here. But I love that pressure right there. Zubori was, a little bit in between, and like we said, she's masterful at going backing up, but Lopez caught her right there, forced the volley error.
Got it below the net. Yeah, got that drive below the net. That little cut down the middle when it's so cold, very effective overhead. Did she miss? Oh. Yes. New team communication. Stays back, very smart. Where that backhand's beautiful from Halbauer.
But you saw Page move in front of Lopez to volley it, Tim.
Yep.
I think it's the wrong play. I think it has to be the Lopez backhand sticking it at the feet of Ellie. By Paige coming over, taking a forehand, throwing it, it doesn't give them any control as the net team. They can't dictate that way. I don't think. I haven't seen it yet. I would
So
love
far,
to
you're
see.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I would just rather the heat comes to Lopez on that cross-court shot, and Lopez moves in on the volley and tries to put it at Ellie's feet.
Serving to go up 4-1 right here on this point.
See, right there, that was a great lob. That would have been a great play for Paige to blitz, possibly. Like, they're not getting many offensive opportunities and looks, and you got to be dialed in. And if you're not looking for certain, you get stuck in one pattern, and sometimes you just fail to recognize other opportunities that might be emerging.
Game.
Wow,
Halbauer and
that was pretty
Zubori.
casual.
Halbauer
That
and
was-
Zubori lead 4-1 in the second set. Halbauer and Zubori won the first set 6-4.
So, and 4-1 Zubori Halbauer now. So from our friends, Winstanley Enterprise is a commercial real estate developer. It aims to provide superior real estate returns for our investors, exceptional real estate options for our tenants, and positive contributions to the communities in which we invest. Winstanley Enterprises. Thank you. Catches a net court, but boy, she's driven every backhand in the purple that she can get a racket on. Halbauer is feeling it, to put it mildly.
all.
You know, right, Zubori had a good look right there, and she had Pejic. I don't know if you noticed him backing up. They weren't holding their ground. They're almost like, okay, I'm backing up so that I can run that ball down off the back screen better. But they're giving up the ability to actually stuff some volleys here.
I don't love having the wires on shots like that.
Great adjustment from Halbauer right there.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, a swing and a miss and again. Not a swing and a miss, really, but great adjustment.
Game, Lopez and Page. Halbauer and Zubori lead 4-2 in the second set.
Gigantic game right there, and Zubori almost was too quick for her own good right there. She kind of almost overran that ball, got right upon it, and tried to short hop a winner wide. No court left. All right, Ellie Halbauer.
Here we go. Good return to serve.
15.
The pivotal seventh game, Patty.
Oh, yeah.
Nice lob. Oh, again.
Tim.
Love 30.
No, we're not keeping stats on Halbauer, but in this match, how many errors do you think she's made? 4?
Less than one hand's worth, for sure. If we're talking unforced errors,
Yeah.
easily less than one hand. I don't
That
believe
is
she's
incredible.
to death, but I don't believe she's missed a lob or an overhead yet. Not to mention the offense she's been bringing on both the forehand and backhand.
Oh, total announcer's curse there. I'm saying the girl
Oh, yeah.
doesn't miss
Oh,
it.
yeah.
She just missed
I love 40.
her easiest one.
Like I said, she's missed one overhead in this match. What? There's a little bit of Mo here switching.
All right, triple break point for Paige
Up and the fault.
Lopez.
Game
Boom.
Lopez and Page. Halbauer and Zubori lead 4-3 in the second set. Halbauer and Zubori
Hey,
won
Tim.
the first set, 6 games
Hey,
to
go ahead, Patty.
4.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Tim, do you have your team together for men's team nationals the last weekend in March, hosted by Canoe Brook Country Club? Canoe Brook, as you know, Tim, is hosting three national championships this year. It will start with the Junior Nationals the last Saturday in February, followed by the next week of activities around the Open Nationals at Canoe Brook, run by Rob Scadoni and Blake Anderson and a million other volunteers. Leslie Stitska and a phenomenal team. Pam Randazzo put that event together. And then at the end of the month, we'll have Craig Morgan runs this year it's the men's team's nationals out of Canoe Brook. So Canoe Brook hosting national championships 3 weekends out of 5, Tim. Just awesome. And Tim, you know why we run so many events out of Canoe Brook?
15.
Why is that, Patty?
Because we can.
I might add,
They embrace the paddle community, Tim, and I've worked
They
with them running over I don't know how many events, and they are great. Head to toe, every employee of the club really has a lot of pride of pulling off just a magnificent event every year, whatever the event is. And Kimberly Condit, I hope she hears this so she gives me a better price for lunch for Team Nationals. But anyway, shout out to Canoe Brook. They do a great job.
30
And
love.
in the Summit area where, we have so many paddle courts, it's just an ideal surround and such a beautiful club. They've done great upgrades to make it comfortable for, 500, 1,000 people at a time, Tim. But who's counting?
I have to tell you, paddle tennis, the sport is like this, where you have a momentum shift. It's 9 straight points or so for Paige Lopez, and suddenly they're right back in the second set where they were down 4-1 and almost out of it 5 minutes ago.
Where did it change, Tim? What happened?
There were the unforced errors. Like you said, the right balls, but the
40 love.
bad execution. But now you're at 40 love to tie the setup at 4-all. Combination of unforced errors, and then Lopez and Page just feeding off of that, and they're really bringing the offense. And they weren't getting as much offense prior to at 4-1.
Tim, I'm on Court Director where you get live stats from other matches. Great site for everybody to follow the action if you can't tune into the live stream, or if you're calling one match and you want to know what's going on in the other. O'Sullivan Saric up 4-3 in the second set in the other women's semi against Elliott and Lalich. Elliott and Lalich won the first set 6-3.
I believe you said that oh, never mind.
I saw it on the line. 40-15. I saw it on the line.
I trust the umpire was asked.
40-15.
As you know, you've got to ask the umpire for the ruling. Now you got to collect yourselves. If you're Paige Lopez, you just got to regroup. They're up 40-15. I don't believe it's 30 love.
Okay, the scoreboard might be cold. It'll warm up. There we go.
Entirely possible.
See, don't swing it over to Ellie. Freeze her out more than the day already does naturally.
Do not let her hit it off the deck. That's the takeaway from this match. There you go.
Game, Lopez
4-all.
and Page. Tied at 4 games all in the second set.
All right. Big swing of momentum. The pendulum has swung, Tim.
3 games in about 7 minutes. I think Lopez Page lost 1 point in 3 games. So, very important first 2 points here. Nice help from Halbauer there on that volley. Boy, that's a big forehand.
I just see right there that ball. I think I want Page. I want Lopez to drive ball. 2 balls, even if it's deeper. Who cares? And even though she might be standing in the green, who cares? There's moments and situations where you got to bring the heat. And I know she can. And that's kind of why I want to see it, Tim.
Yep, and it's the momentum that they have going right now. She's banging everyone in, so like you said, it doesn't have to be a winner. It's just pressure.
Yep.
You're talking pressure.
Because the thing when Page and Lopez are rocking and rolling out there, their feet off each other and the pressure they both apply. Page hits the ball, then it goes over to Lopez. She gets another, ball of life drive potential. We haven't seen that as much, and they're really trying to lob well, but it's so cold. It's so difficult.
You are right about their feeding off of each other. One drives, then the other. They just keep bringing it.
And only because I think that they've tested the middle with a million lobs here, and Halbauer and Zubori are handling them beautifully. So maybe pull them back in together. Get them, if you get a look, take it. Make them close in. It'll open up the court for your lob.
There you go. Yeah, those points like that tend to favor Halbauer and Zubori when they're at net because they just control their overhead. So to your point, when they get a look, when Lopez and Page get a look, they've got to take it and they've got to follow it up because otherwise Zubori is just controlling the overhead.
Right, and try to find the right hip of a player at the net, like that one play where we saw Page unload on Halbauer and force the volley earlier. And right there, the line was wide open. Ellie was, Zubori was so cheating on the middle from Lopez. She didn't quite see how far over to the middle she was. But I like that there, where she tested her up the line and she got her second shot, and that was. See, I think that's where Lopez is so unbelievably talented, Tim.
Yep. She caught the net, but it was a great shot either way.
Yeah. She created the look for herself, and she took the look.
Yes. Yes. Jumped a little.
15-30.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, but I like it. She took it right at Halbauer. And, kind of an awkward backhand volley attempt.
All right, 30-all. You can feel the tension rise.
Yeah. You can feel on Zubori, like, right now, she's very happy again, I think.
She wants to win this game. She knows how important it is. I love the way she closes in after that first volley, Patty.
Yep.
Lori just hits that first volley and then right on top of the net. There's the switch.
See, I think she should have driven it right back at Halbauer's backhand right there, like right at her.
Yep.
That little chip to her forehand. We know Halbauer favors her forehand volley big time. So make her hit the shot she doesn't want to hit.
Oh, caught a seam.
40-30.
I think they're a little fired up, Patty. I think you could hear that scream in St. Louis, Missouri. All right.
Game. Halbauer
Big
and Zubori.
Big hold.
Halbauer and Zubori lead 5-4 in the second set. Halbauer and Zubori won the first set 6-4.
Tim, gigantic hold. And once again, a gigantic thank you to Judy Mitchell up in that chair, doing a great job in these bitter conditions here in Boston. All right, so Tim, Halbauer, Zubori up 5-4. They were done. They're pumped, juiced.
Eerily familiar to the first set when exactly the same situation arose. 4-5 serving, and the pressure from Halbauer and Zubori was too much. And it'll be interesting to see because Lopez and Page know it. They were here just one set ago. So first point's big point here for Lopez and Page in particular.
Yep, Taya Page serving. Other semifinals, women's update. O'Sullivan and Saric are up 5-3 in the second set on Elliott and Lalich. Elliott Lalich won that first set 6-3. Women's final will be played later on this afternoon. Gigantic day of paddle in the Boston area.
Yeah, phenomenal paddle.
Kudos to Boston. Just they are so prominent on the PTA tour. One of the great events all the players love going to. Drew Sawyer and team. Phenomenal job of organizing it every year. Boston never disappoints, Tim.
No, you're right. And 10 short years ago, it wasn't that way. Boston didn't have all the facilities they have now. So to see the rise of Boston and the job they're doing is really special for folks that have been around for a while.
Thanks to Hall of Famer Johan Durant for he helped put Boston on the map. They had paddle. They were great before, but then they're phenomenal. And to have a Johan Durant among your midst, and you can grow the game around a great team like Durant, Mitchell.
Yep.
Stephen Mitchell, phenomenal player.
So here we are, Love 30. Match game. Oh, Love 40, triple match.
What a great combination of shot. You lob the person, get them off the net, off-speed ball in front of them, bingo. Breakdown.
Hey, who said the lob sets up the drive? Who said that earlier?
I think it was Tim McAvoy.
It was Patty Hogan. That was exhibit A of what you said. Look at him, just comfortable. Zubori. Nice.
Great roller overhead. Page, let that ball drop. Force the volley error.
Here's the pattern that's been difficult to break, Patty.
Yep.
This serve to the forehand.
Error, sorry. Yep, big time. They need a Houdini moment here.
Oh. You got the lob at least, not a drive.
Yep. Other semifinals have split sets.
There it is.
Oh, Tim.
Game,
there it is.
Match, Halbauer and Zubori.
Tim, let's take a look at the match stats. My court director.
Look how even that was, 63 to 68 points.
Wow.
And you had that run when Lopez Page were down 4-1. They won those 11 straight points you see, and you could just see the whole momentum shift. And then it shifted back again.
And look at the last one, break points converted. Fascinating. Halbauer, Zubori, 13 break point opportunities. That's a lot. So
and
Tim,
that's to your point, they always had pressure on them. Yep.
Yeah, they always had pressure on them. Tim, it's been fun as always calling this match with you. I mentioned the other women's semi has split sets with O'Sullivan Saric, taking the second set 6-3 over Elliott Lalich. The winners will be played later. We're going to wrap it up here. Stay tuned. We've got paddle all day on all the other APTA channels. Enjoy. Tim, thanks so much.
Always a pleasure. See you, Patty.
Bye, Tim.
Bye-bye.
The business owners that I'm working with have entrusted Corient in this work because we're really focused on supporting them in their important endeavors. They're functioning every day in their zone of genius, and their expectation of us is we're doing the same. My name is Anna Diaz. I'm a partner and wealth advisor at Corient. When we think about the work we're doing for our clients, we think about first financial, absolutely. It is not uncommon that our very successful business owners and clients are making disjointed decisions. Our job is to provide a proactive strategy so the filter in which they make these decisions is informed. Second is the emotional load. Our clients often are asking themselves, what am I missing? Our job is to remove that mental load so they feel that their strategy is optimized, is simplified, and is executed cleanly. And the third is generational. Absolutely, there is technical design that goes into that, but it is also the thoughtful impact they want to have with what they've created.
Hi, I'm Anna Maria Zubori. I'm going to give you a tip how to adjust your drive in the cold weather. I find that some club players in the cold weather are just trying to get into the rhythm by trying to hit harder and harder, and that is one of the only adjustments. Instead of that, what I try to do, I try to look for different placement on the court. I try to bend my knees and stay low. The ball is not as bouncy, it's a little heavier, so without really bending my knees, the drive is not going to be as successful. So stay low, look for the compact swing, look for the openings, and with all of that, if all of that is working, the power is going to follow. I'm Anna Maria Zubori. I hope you enjoy this tip.